Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And on this video, I'm going to talk about how healing from narcissistic abuse starts with radical honesty with ourselves, right? I've talked about trauma bonds and cognitive dissonance and things that happen, right, in our body in these cycles where we kind of live in the illusion, yeah, in the psychic tie, the enmeshment, and part of dealing with shock and trauma and grief is denial, yeah? But the fact is you're here and you're listening to this, which means that you have the ability right now to pull yourself out of the illusion. You do, yeah? So I've got tools on here. I've got my Sovereign program. I'll let you know when I'm going to open the next round of that. It's closed right now. But and I've got coaching with people. But here's what you need to know. There is a part of you that is choosing not to see the truth. If you are aware of what a narcissist is and staying in these cycles, and there are reasons why we stay even beyond the trauma bond and psychic ties and enmeshments that are more to do with ourselves, are more to do with our fears, are more to do with us not setting better standards. One of the things in the narcissistic abuse cycle, which I talk about a lot, is that we get eroded, we have to self-abandon and we get taken away from ourselves. And one of the things I teach in my Sovereign program, one of the pillars is around well, the three pillars are self-focused, self-partnered and self-sourcing. And to do that, we have to know our standards and values and boundaries in life, right? And although, like, you could say, well, my standard is honesty, my standard is, and my values are honesty and trust. And, you know, when you actually look at what you're living, if you're in these cycles, you're not living that. So you have to be radically honest and say, no, actually, my standards become lies, manipulation, deceit. Because when you're in these cycles, you become a counterpart. You're not being honest, you're not being authentic. You can't with a narcissist, right? And even if you think you are, you're not being honest to yourself. Yeah? So you have to start with an inventory of, like, what am I allowing in my life? Not just from the narcissist, because honestly, like, if you want to heal, you're going to be willing, you have to be willing to stop obsessing about what they're doing, trying to change them, what's right, fighting for justice, all that stuff. You've got to get you right first. Yeah? So if you want to ruminate on that, you're refusing to look at yourself at this point. Yeah? That is part of the disease, to obsess over them. That I've got tools on here, I've got programs, I've got coaching that will help you break it. But at the end of the day, once you come into that, you've got to look at yourself. Self-focused is my first pillar of Sovereign. Self-focused. Now, does that mean, are there going to be things in your life where you might, if you're going through a divorce, if you're living with a narcissist, if you're married to them, if you're in an environment with them, toxic people, work, whatever, you might have to deal with them? Sure. But then you've just got to get done what you need to get done and come back to why it's so triggering for you, how you can take control of yourself, not the narcissist and not the situation in front of you. Trying to control the situation with a narcissist is pointless. And even if you are right, you might spend so much time trying to fight the right, you know, to be right and all that stuff. And it's a losing battle because you're probably not going to get what you want, which is freedom, peace, I would imagine, harmony, and actually start tapping into the abundance available to you in your life. What's the result of staying in a battle longer than you need to, giving so much energy to it, right? Just to be right, which you might still lose in the end overall because you've lost a lot of time. Now, I'm not saying don't fight for your rights. I believe in it. But get outcome focused, get realistic at what you actually can get from the situation. Realistically, go for that, stick by that, and don't waste your time trying to prove that, you know, that you were right over the smear campaign, or other people, that you wanting the narcissist to see the truth. That is a losing game. So sure, enforce your rights, get the outcome you want in a realistic way that is possible in that situation, and don't put your energy, right, on the meter, because you're just giving your energy and your life away. The one thing that I regret the most, and that's why I'm so passionate about making these videos, is because I'm talking to myself, say 7 years ago, where I will never get my time back. And that, oh, I wish I knew what I knew now then. Doesn't matter how old you are, you've only got today, you get to live fully now. But the thing that we will regret over time is how much time we've wasted of our lives. That's the only thing you'll regret over time. If you really are in a narcissistic abuse cycle and you're not living your values, you're not living in integrity in any way when you don't live your values, by the way. Trying to fix and control someone else is not a lifestyle. Yeah? So, or external situations, until you get you right and take yourself back and take control of your life. That's radical honesty. How much control? I tell you what changed in my life, right? When I was prepared to go through the storm, I knew when I left the narcissist, I'd have to leave all my physical belongings and I had to get out of that community and all the things I'd invested in and bought, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is replaceable. What wasn't was me. Yeah? Guess what else? I changed my standards. I will never in my life allow anyone to cross my boundaries or standards again in that way, and I don't, no matter what. People come to me sometimes in my business offering me things. I don't do anything for money that's against my integrity or not in my standards and rules, right? Nothing is valuable if it comes at the expense of me. I live in integrity every day, which means I sleep well at night, I know who I am, and guess what? Self-love, self-respect, self-esteem is just a side effect of that. Yeah? You can't not love yourself if you honour yourself by sticking by your standards, values, and don't betray yourself every day. Self-love is a side effect. I haven't got to work on self-love. It's just how I live in a way that honours myself. That's self-partnering. When we don't, of course you don't like yourself. Of course you don't respect yourself. Of course your self-esteem gets eroded, and the narcissist will push you into doing that all the time. But there comes a point where you must snatch control back. I took control back. I set a bit different standards for my life, not knowing how, right? My standard was no longer, even if I went through the storm, which I did, and guess what? I'm fine. I had terrible PTSD. I was terribly ill. I was in poverty. There's nothing you can't break free on, but if you can find your peace there and stop fighting it and deciding that you shouldn't be where you are and all the things that keep you stuck and giving your power away to the narcissist, wanting them to change, fighting a battle that you'll never win, and come back to yourself and set a new standard, I swear to you, your life can change in ways you cannot imagine. But faith does not even begin until you don't know how you're going to work it out. I've got faith on my t-shirt today. You know, I've got faith on my wall. I've walked in faith where it doesn't look possible. Make your life a testament to what that looks like, rather than sitting there going, oh, I want God to rescue me. God is speaking to you. You wouldn't be listening to this video if God wasn't trying to get through to you. But you see, faith doesn't exist when we don't take any action. If you want to run back to the narcissist because you're not willing to look at your fears and be willing to walk in faith over them, then God can't help you there. Everything you pray on, everything you say to God, I want in life, and He's put in your heart to have and receive because it's a desire coming from your heart. Guess what? The minute you have that desire, God says yes. The universe says yes. You're not denied on this planet. But what you've got to be is the person who is the energetic match to that desire, which means that I walk in faith knowing, prayer is about thanks in advance. If I can't see clarity, thanks in advance that I'll see the truth. Thanks for showing me this. Thanks for showing me the truth. Thanks for showing me what's going on. Thanks for showing me who I can be. Yeah? Thanks that there will be a resolution. I pray for, you can pray for an exit. I want an exit out of this. But when the exit comes, you've got to take it. And most people don't. They want to send, and I know, people make money out of telling you things you want to hear. I want to give you everything you need and not what you think you want, because what you think you want is to spend another few years listening about narcissists, paying someone to pacify your emotions rather than bring you into your personal power, your truth and yourself. And I'm talking to me every step of this journey so that I make sure I don't just do that to people, because I would never do it I wouldn't even want to do that. I couldn't do it. It's not in my values, but it makes me annoyed. It makes me annoyed because there's a part of us, I know because I had it in me, that doesn't really want to grow, that wants to just paper over the cracks and make this comfortable with the narcissist and not have to do the real inner work that will make you grow and make your life so much better. Yeah? But playing on that, needing us, well, it's not even a need, it's a vulnerability in us as people. Yeah? That we want to stay comfortable. That we know we're scared of change, that we're going to have to be a better version of ourselves to take a bolder move. But on the other side of it, your life's so much better. You didn't have to stay. You do not have to stay in a situation that you don't like 1 second longer than you want to, as long as you start moving your energy towards progress and growth. And the more you're fighting the wrong fight, the more you're trying to be right, the more you're going in the old trajectory rather than coming into yourself, working on your personal power every single day, being a better version of yourself. My measure of success is, or how I am, is not anything external that anyone could judge me on. It's how true I am to me and how much I grow every day. How much I grow. That does not mean going down old trajectories and cycles and patterns, right? It means taking radical honesty, inventory of my life, and radical responsibility for it. It's not your fault what happened to you. It's your absolute responsibility to change it. There is no point. I won't set up, my groups are, you can talk about everything going on, but I ask you to ask it in a powerful way. Yeah, because what's so interesting about all of us is it really doesn't matter how bad it has been in your life. Like, you can still make change. Change bigger than you would imagine from how serious or how bad something is. But until you see what you're doing at this point to contribute to it, to be a counterpart to it, to be the energetic match to it, because a narcissist is a predator. They don't target you for your empathy or your wounds. They are just easy access to you. They target you because you have something they want. But once they've targeted you, they're going to go through the same sequence, which means you're going to get devalued overall in the relationship. You're going to be devalued every single day of that relationship. And your boundary standards and values and dreams are going to get eroded too. So you're living in being invalidated and devalued every day, right? That's the pattern. When you become aware of this, it's now you are your job. You are your job. Of course it's complicated. A narcissist puts you in traps. Anything worthwhile in life often isn't easy, but it's very worthwhile. What I've done, what I've been through, what I've grown through, what I've developed wasn't easy. Was it worthwhile? 100% yeah. Because whatever they take from you materially, or time is such a big one. But whatever they take from you, the most important things, if you can cultivate them, there are some things inside of you that no one can take. No one can take away from me who I am. No one can ever take me away from myself again. And no one can take my spirituality, my faith, my soul, right? But if you are detaching from your soul to survive these relationships, if you are not cultivating faith, now that might need some work. You might need some coaching. Faith, to live in faith, in alignment with what you want, and learning to have belief systems, strength, resilience, willingness to follow your intuition, to open up again, to trust life, to trust yourself again, to take the right moves rather than, and see where you're like lamenting on the cycle, on the past, on the narcissist needing to change. When you stay in that cycle, you are wanting them to change because you're not willing to change you, and they have now made you into a perfect match for them. This is hard to hear, but it's so necessary, because I swear to you, you've got so much inside of you. If you can cultivate your spiritual connection, whatever that is for you, even with your higher self, right? God, yourself, your creator, whatever you believe in, your faith, and have the courage to walk with fear, to go forward no matter what, to set a different standard for your life. The universe will meet you there and bless you in ways you can't imagine. But you do have to do something for it, which is change. If you keep getting the same results, yes, they are predators, but you are an energetic match. You've got to change. You've got to change, right? You know inside everything about you. But there are certain muscles you've got to build that no one on this planet can ever take from you. The things I've got now, no one can take from me. They're unstoppable. And with those things intact, guess what? I can rebuild 1,000,000 times if I had to. I'm fine. I'm resilient. I'm fine. I've got hold of myself. There is nothing that people could do in the old way to me in any way. And of course, I won't even lose anything ever again, because I'm not even an energetic match to that anymore. But like, if I did, I'm not living in fear of loss anymore. I'm not living in what might happen to me anymore, because I've got the most important things, which means I know how to navigate this journey in a way that is different to that. Where I'm not, even if a predator came across my path, which they have, and I didn't see it straight away, when I see it, they're gone. My cut-off game is on point. So is my passion, my love, my joy, my potential, and my spirituality, everything that actually fucking matters, right? Which no one can take. Stop focusing on the wrong thing, start focusing on the right thing, which is you. Yeah? Don't listen to things that are feeding your addiction. I said in my course and on here, like, you know, if an alcoholic, so there's a few things that happen. An alcoholic goes to an AA meeting to help support them on the journey, or a drug addict, right? This is a bit like this. You come into this channel, you plug in, it will keep you on course. It will remind you of who you are and keep you on course. What an alcoholic does not do is sit and look at vodka all day, which is what some people do when they look over and over again, obsessing of learning of everything about narcissists. You are now an alcoholic that's just binging on vodka all day. That's no good. Come here or to other channels that give you the plug-in to remind you of the truth and keep you thinking about you. That's one thing. Another thing is you might relapse. Alcoholics, drug addicts relapse. This is like an enmeshment which is stronger than addiction, narcissistic cycle. You might go back, but it's like an alcoholic saying, I can just have one last drink. I can just cope with the party. You probably can't. But the alcoholic thinks, well, I've been to enough AA meetings now. I'm okay, I can handle it. I've been learning about narcissists. I know every trick they've got. Yes, but they're still going to emotionally destroy you and trigger you and get you. You're going to know what they're doing, but it's still going to hurt. So again, you have to understand where you are. You might relapse, get back on track, right? The only thing you regret at the end of this journey is how much time you wasted. The only thing I regret, I didn't know any better. I couldn't have done any better at the time, but that's why I care about this work. The only thing I regret is that I lost very good time in my life, a very, you know, beautiful time in my life. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to live fully now. It doesn't matter in terms of, it doesn't stop. I am where I am. You know what I mean? But that's the biggest thing. That's the only thing you regret over time, how much time you waste. Lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.